Hi guys, my name is Imran Babar. Let me quickly go through the agenda for today's presentation. So first I'll be going into some introduction details about mentoring high school students as that is my project. Then I'll go into scope of this project versus the overall scope. Then I'll go into some of the research findings and surveys that I've done conducted. Then I'll go into detail about the milestone one and what I've achieved thus far. Then I'll go into some of the upcoming works that will be needed to accomplish this project. And then I will also be looking to get some feedback from you guys as well. So yeah, let's get started. So as I have said, my name is Imran, and my project is about how we can better mentor high school students effectively for future careers and universities. Now, the biggest question I have is with all the technology today that is available in this world, with all AI, ML that is all out there, I'm surprised that we don't have a proper system in place to effectively mentor high school kids. Majority of high school students today go through a phase when they are planning their careers and they don't have any idea on what they want to do, what college they want to attend, where they will end up. And there's so many questions and to be honest, no real answers. There is high school mentorships from teachers, counselors, parents, and peers that is available, but everyone has their own opinions, and you, the student, is the real judge. You get to make the call, right, where you want to end up. So, I mean, to be honest, those people have not experienced what you have, and they don't have the exact details about you, so it is not really possible for them to give you an accurate recommendation. Statistics show that 50% of high school students rely on their families to decide their careers and universities for them. I again want to say that with all the technology today that we have available, there needs to be a more proper and systematic way to get mentorship. After all, this is a question about your lifetime. Okay, so now I'll be discussing the scope of this project and comparing it to the overall scope of the project. So basically, I don't want this project to end here in this class, so I want to take it outside. So I'll be discussing the overall scope as well. So let me start with the scope of this project in terms of this class. So let me go into that. Many students have different situations and different factors that contribute to them choosing a specific future career or future university. My research will target at analyzing those situations and factors and coming up with an effective way to train a model powered by artificial intelligence to provide mentorship and recommendations on what college, universities, and career choices they want to take up in future. The model will take input, and those input will be factors such as grades, affordability, standardized test scores, personality, likes, dislikes, jobs held, specific skills that you possess, and like really 4 years of learning a particular person to provide the recommendations. I'm still conducting some more research to really hone in on the factors that students really consider before selecting their careers, and importance will be placed on those accordingly. So that is the current scope of this project that I plan to have for this course. Now, let me go into some more detail about how I feel this project will end up in long term. So basically, I don't want this project again to end here. My overall goal is to pitch this idea to actual high schools and check out how they feel. My goal is to have a mentorship portal for every student. When they become freshmen, they're assigned an account and their progress grades, again, ACT scores, family incomes, and those factors, right? Jobs held, home condition, socioeconomic status, and what not. The other factors, they'll all be monitored. The goal of the portal will be to really learn the student for 4 years, and when they get into a phase where they're juniors or seniors, I still have to decide where they'll be, but that's when we start giving out the recommendation based on the learnings that we have done. So that's kind of the long term of this project. Okay, so now let's get into details about the research that I have done and the surveys that I'll be conducting. The research has shown that many high school students tend to find difficulties choosing careers and future universities because of a lack of good mentorship and poor decision making. As a result, students lose their interest in education at the age they should be learning more about it and start dropping out or start changing their career paths. The main factors that students look at is related to their family and their background and socioeconomic factors. Family members, again, were most often reported as the main influence for students thinking about education after high school. Family members can definitely give great advice and all as they know you, but they might not always know all the skills that that you possess, and their recommendation might not always be the best. The students have their own experiences, and many have different skill sets which might be best suited for specific careers, which need to be analyzed carefully when deciding on a particular career. The family members might not know everything about a student's education world to make the all important decision. Another thing that plays a big part is the socioeconomic status, right? So, higher socioeconomic status means educated family background, and the student is confident in their ability to choose their career paths on their own. They have full backing, support, and even jobs that are pre ready for them right after they graduate through parental or family reference. Now, the issue lies at the lower end of the ladder. Students from lower socioeconomic status depend on teachers, career counselors to decide on their careers as it is the first as it is their first time, and they don't have the kind of family support or other kind of backings that a higher socioeconomic status student might have. Many of the first generation students also fall in this lower rung of the socioeconomic ladder. So these kind of students, they go through tough times, and they have a lot of different things to consider, such as family environment, sacrifices they have to make, financial burdens, scholarships, full-time jobs to support their families, and whatnot. So it is a really difficult time for the lower SES students. There are also many different precursors that can decide that a student might excel in a particular career, right? So, for example, if a student excels in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, they will want to consider themselves for a STEM career. Or maybe some sort of engineering or mathematical or computer science might suit them best. There are also other precursors, such as if a student has been taught from beginning of their student career that they have to be in a certain field, and they have been taught that starting from an early age. By the time the student grows up, they'll be ready to take on that particular field. For example, maybe like a career in healthcare. Maybe, when you were in second grade or third grade, maybe your parents told you, you need to be a doctor, and you've been feeded that from that point. And those kind of things really impact you as you grow up, and you kind of set a standard for yourself that you want to be a doctor, and you can become that. So that's a really good way for parents to really get the best out of their kids. Many students also choose their college majors during high school, and a lot of them end up dropping midway through. Statistics show that 57% of students enrolled in college are not done after 6 years. Of that 57%, 33% of them drop out entirely. Many students also take remedial courses which take up a lot of tuition money. They feel like it is really not worth it. So taking remedial courses only prolongs graduation. In other words, it increases tuition bills, and statistics show that less than one-fourth of students required to take remedial courses in college don't really complete their program. So that is a big issue right now. Also, the most important year of your college is the freshman year, because statistics show after the freshman year, the average retention rate across all colleges in the U.S. is 81%. So your chances of dropping out are significantly less after the freshman year. Many dropouts and changes occur during the first year, and that is why it is very critical to get the first strong year in. Selecting the right major according to your skills is very critical in terms of being successful and also saving a lot of money. So let me go into more detail about the survey. So I have written out survey questions which I will be passing out for high school students to take. I'm planning to make a visit to a high school in my suburb area, and I plan to go and monitor a period, 45-minute class period, and I plan to hand out surveys in the last 2 minutes of that period, and I'll get some of the question answered there. I also plan to interview 3 high school students for 5 minutes each, and to do a recorded session, which I will be sharing with you guys as well. It'll be like an edited video, and I'll share those as well. So that's the plan for the surveys right now. So now moving into the milestone and discussing what I have achieved for milestone 1. So basically my overall objective for milestone 1 was to have surveys ready and have my research done. and I have my surveys ready to pass out, and I'm also ready to interview the high school students as well. I have generally a good idea about the factors that high school students actually consider, but at the moment I don't want to report any data just yet, as I want to wait until I'm done with the surveys to share those results. So maybe during Milestone 2 I will go into detail about what factors the AI model will be using as inputs to recommend future career or university. So now let's head into the upcoming work section. And in the upcoming work section, basically what I have coming up is I have to meet with a couple of high school students to interview them. And then I'll do some editing of the videos and kind of make it look nice, and I'll share those along the way with you guys. Also, I will, after that's done, I'll analyze, process, and structure data, probably create some cool visualizations for you guys to see, and then I'll possibly prepare a list of finalized factors, the variables that I would like to call them, as those are going to be the inputs to train the AI model. So I'll have a list of those as well. And then I want to also conduct some more research on the use of AI technology with Microsoft Azure to actually create a proof of concept. So I want to do that, and then at the end I want to create a video of the working AI model with maybe a couple of different scenarios. So maybe a couple of different factor inputs, and maybe outputting a university or a career that might go along with that. So I plan to do that, and then basically work on the final paper, do the presentation, and any remaining project deliverables. I'll look to do that. So yeah, that's the upcoming work section. And then head into the feedback. I do want feedback from you guys. Also, if you guys can give me some feedback on what questions you guys think I should be asking high school students when interviewing them, or any general feedback you guys have, that'd be great. I know the scope is quite large of my project, but I want to be able to do some kind of proof of concept that something like this can happen today with the technology we have available in the world, that a systematic approach is possible. So yeah, that's kind of that's milestone 1 video presentation for you guys. Thank you for listening in, checking out. Thank you so much.